Okay, the camera's on. LaSalle Police Department Investigation Office. Today's date is January 25th, 2016. I've got 1:53 p.m. on my cell phone. My name is Lieutenant Mike Smadzinski, Police Officer, City of LaSalle, Illinois, 61301. In the office with me is, what's your name over there?
Sergeant Scott Samolinski.
And what's your name, young lady?
Jillian Sherman.
Spell Jillian.
Jillian.
Okay, your birth date?
3/26/89.
Okay, and also in with us is?
Sergeant Hocking with Peru PD.
Okay, Jillian, you came down here over the weekend. I received information from Sergeant Hocking in reference to a conversation you had with a subject who claimed to be a police officer. And I'm just going to touch base, and then I'll let you go into the whole scenario from how you. Just don't leave anything on it. Just leave it. Lay it all on the table for us, young lady, and how you were encountered by this subject. And ultimately, you came here today with Sergeant Hocking and Detective Atkins, correct?
Yes.
And at one point, we were discussing these texts that you got, from a subject who claimed to be a police officer in LaSalle.
Yep.
He did say LaSalle?
Yes, he said LaSalle.
Okay. And you met him at the Bex in LaSalle?
Yes.
Okay, and you have text conversations, you got his phone number, and whatnot, and you said you were it was a subject that paid you $100, correct?
Yes.
Just to come up to your car and
Just
talk.
to meet him for 3 minutes is the agreement.
And there was no sexual discussion,
not.
nothing at all. Okay. Let's go into how this all started. Start from the get-go, how you encountered the Peru police, what happened, and we'll hear it from there, okay?
Okay.
And by the way, this is being video audio.
Okay.
You're okay with that, you said, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to start from that night leading into the police, or you guys coming to me?
You for your position, your employment, you go on Backpage, you advertise, and how.
Gotcha. So I post ads on Backpage. I offer my time to gentlemen or women that just want a listening ear, or what it's called is a body rub. I'm not a licensed masseuse, so I can offer a body rub.
Sure.
Or, just time, just somebody to hang out with and speak to. And after I posted an ad one night, I was contacted by a number that a guy was claiming to be a cop. He said, "Do you have time to meet tonight?" I said, "Absolutely." And he said, "Well, I have a question." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "Are you anti-police? If I was are cops deal breakers for you?" And that piqued my interest. I was like, what the heck, So I indulged in the conversation with him, and he later told me he was part of the LaSalle Police Department, and that he was on-duty officer that night, so he could not leave LaSalle, but wanted to meet me, wanted to see if my ads panned out to be really me, or if they were fake. So at that point, I believe I called him, he called me. Either way, we were speaking on the phone and decided we were meeting at Bex in LaSalle.
Verbally you talked?
Yeah, I did verbally speak to him on the phone. He told me Bex in LaSalle. I'm not really super familiar with the area. I ended up at Bex in Peru, and I called him and told him, "Okay, I'm here." And he said, "No, you're not." And I was like, "I'm at Bex right here." And he's like, "No, I can't come over there. I'm on duty in LaSalle, so I can't leave LaSalle. You have to come to the LaSalle Bex." Yeah, that's what he told me. So I went over to the LaSalle Bex, and this was about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, "Okay, I'm here." He asked me if I was alone, at which point I did tell him I was alone, but I was not. I did have a friend drive me there who was inside using the restroom just to be sure I was okay for my safety. He pulled up onto the right side of the vehicle, which I was on the right side of Bex at that point, and he pulled up on the right side of me, and I was sitting in the driver's seat of the truck. He came up to the passenger side window. I told him he could get in, and he said, "No, thank you." He was really kind of standoffish about it at first. I rolled down the window, and he said, "Oh, wow, you're beautiful, you're really you, blah, blah, blah." And he asked me, "So, how late do you work? Like, where do you stay? Do you have anybody that stays with you? Are you alone? What happens if somebody tries to hurt you? How do you protect yourself?" He was inquisitive about...
Really?
Yeah, just the ins and outs of my job, really. And usually those are pretty common questions for guys that are concerned of their own safety, usually, if they're deciding to come see me. When we were on the phone, let me back up. When we were on the phone, he did tell me that if I was comfortable enough to meet him, knowing that he was a cop, that he would give me $100 for 3 minutes of my time just to meet him in person.
Did you think that was a little weird?
I thought it was very weird, but I think that's what made me more interested to find out what was going on.
Who did you go there with? Who was in your car?
Megan's son, Susie.
And is she in the same line of business?
No, she's not. She's actually, just kind of like a mother figure to me. She's like been my best friend.
Okay. So
Yeah.
did you can talk to her about this and say, hey, this
Yeah,
something, what'd
yeah,
you
and
say?
she was like, you're absolutely not going alone. This doesn't sound right.
Right.
Yeah, and she was concerned. I mean, that's...
Man, you're a gutsy little thing to be going out and meeting somebody like that.
Thank you. Well, you know what? I'm curious, not gutsy. I think
Sure.
I'm very curious. It piqued my curiosity. I wanted to see what this was about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, really, it was really weird in that he wanted to meet in public. I felt safer that it was in public.
Good point.
You know, I was like, okay, cop cars have cameras on them. You know.
When you got there, was he already there?
No, he pulled up after me. I called him and said, hey, I'm here. You know, I'm parked on the side of Beck's, and he was like not even 2 minutes later, he pulled in. And he pulled in from, like, I was parked on the right side, he pulled in from this way, coming from this way, like, I don't know my directions, I'm sorry. And he pulled in right beside me, left the car running and everything, stood at the door, like, it was about 3 minutes, and in that time, I cannot specifically remember him introducing himself by name, but the names Derek, Dale, and Dave stuck out in my mind when I'm thinking back on that night, and I never thought that it was going to be important in anything up until now. So while I'm revisiting those thoughts, I'm bringing up those 3 names in my mind, and I remember thinking that night, because Dale is my dad's name, Derek is my brother's name, Dave is my boyfriend's name,
Okay.
and I remember him introducing himself as a name that I'm close to, you know, so that's where the names came from. And he literally asked me if I have a boyfriend, or no, at first he asked me if I would ever consider getting to know him. He would pay me to get to know me, pay me for my time getting to know me, but if at any point that I knew him and liked him personally,
Right.
if I would stop doing this, and if there was any chance of having, like, a different kind of relationship with him besides just what I offered, because I explained to him, at no point will you get sexual favors from me, you know, not for money or otherwise.
Right.
And he's like, not even for no money. He's like, I mean, I know I'm a cop, you know, but...
Right.
And I was like, I'm not telling you this because you're a cop. I would tell you or anybody else this. You're not getting sexual favors from me. I am in a 13-year relationship. Like, what I do, what I'm putting on Backpage, is actually what I do, regardless of what the other girls say
Sure.
and what they really do. Cool.
Sure.
But what I do, it says it right there, you know?
Sure.
And, so at that point, he's like, so you're saying there's no chance we can get a personal relationship out of this if we got to know each other further? Told him no again. He asked me if I was alone, asked me how I protect myself, told him I had baseball bats and I had knives in my room, and, you know, I was like, obviously I have to protect myself because, yeah, there's weirdos that come in, obviously, you know, and asked where I stay, and got back in his car and said thank you for having the balls to meet me. I waited for him to pull away. Actually, this is probably bad to say, but the truck that I was in had expired tags at the time, and he came back up and he was like, hey, by the way, your tags are expired.
Did he?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I know, actually. I was like, it's my friend's truck, you know,
Sure.
because I actually didn't drive myself there. I was like, but yeah, I'll let her know that, you know, you said that. And he was like, oh, well, I'll put a thing out that says I've already stopped you tonight so nobody else stops you. I was
He
like,
said
okay.
that?
Yeah, I was like, is that a thing? Like, is that
For
a real
sure
thing?
he said that.
Yeah. I was like, is that even a real thing that you can do? I didn't think so. Because that's I told her that. I was like, hey, you don't got to worry about being stopped, you know. I was like, because he said he'd put a thing out that said that we've already been warned. And, yeah, because they're expired at the time. And he said, just be safe. And when I left, he continued to text, said thank you, asked me for pictures, for me to send him pictures on the phone.
This was after he had left?
Yeah, this was just after we pulled away.
So
I
when he
mean, I
pulled away,
wasn't
he
even
was
back at
texting
my
you?
hotel yet, and he was texting me,
Somehow,
yeah.
whether he's in his car or
Yeah.
what, okay.
He was asking, you know, are you usually up this late? Are you available during the day usually? I mean, all just very inquisitive.
Did he say where he was a police officer?
LaSalle. He
He
said
said
he was
LaSalle.
a LaSalle police.
What did he
officer.
look like?
He was, I'd say, maybe just under 6 foot. He had
Okay.
facial hair. I remember his eyes. I remember his eyes were big. They were like not bug-eyed, I don't want to say that, but he has pretty eyes, but he has freaky eyes. If that makes any sense. His eyes just look a little bit fear,
different.
yeah, I don't know, there's like a fierceness, fire about his eyes that freaked me out. He was broader shoulders, like, and it's really hard to tell his body type because he was all built up and suited up, it looked like, you know, I mean, he was
Did you
all
see
in
a gun
black.
belt at all, or no?
No, I didn't,
No.
I only seen him from here up, I mean, 'cause
You didn't see a badge?
I didn't see a badge, I seen the, sewn-on thing on his beanie that he was wearing, like that hat, you know, like
Was it a
the thing.
beanie or was it a fold-up hat?
It was, well,
The
are
skull
they the
cap,
same
they
thing?
call 'em?
I think it,
Here, let me show
It
you.
just wasn't a baseball hat.
it
for
wasn't a
sure.
baseball cap
Okay,
for sure.
okay.
It had no bill on it. It was just, you know, one of those cloths that just pull
Here's-
down. Yeah, it was like that.
Well, this is what I call a beanie, the ones that are,
Yes,
like
that's
this,
exactly what it was,
or,
yeah.
and this is just a regular, see how they're, when I'm saying folded.
Okay, if it was folded up, it was folded up like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was folded up. And I remember he had a radio on him.
You did see a radio, huh?
Yeah, I know for sure he had a radio on him. It never made any noise though.
Okay.
I didn't hear any noise coming from his car either.
Color of the car?
Color of the car was black. It was like, the new Fords, whatever they have.
Did you see anybody in the car with him?
No,
No.
nobody. But it had the extra mirror, like the cop mirror on the side, you know, on the driver's side. Like that's the side view that I got of it, was just the
Yeah,
side.
spotlight.
What
Yeah,
extra
light?
mirror?
yeah, he had the light, or maybe it was the light, I'm thinking
What
the
extra
light.
mirror are we talking about here? 'Cause I don't even.
I think I'm thinking the
Oh,
spotlight.
spotlight,
The
okay. I'm
yeah,
thinking,
sorry,
what
not
the heck
mirror.
am I out of the loop?
There was no marks on the car though, like no markings of
Nothing.
being LaSalle, you know, cop
Okay.
or anything like that. It was just all, the windows were tinted, and it had that little extra little spotlight thing on the
You
side.
didn't
I
see a
mean,
badge then?
you know what, I can remember seeing the badge on his hat, and I remember he covered himself up over here, 'cause he didn't want me to know his full name. But, like I said, when I'm revisiting my thoughts on that night, those names that keep coming up in my mind, and I know it was one of those names.
We asked you in there if you remembered, if he identified himself by name, and you know what, you said, it's Dave, Derek,
Yeah,
or
it
something,
was
and.
Dave, Derek, or Dale, I said, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, those
And-
are the three names that I could remember, but and he didn't want me to know what his last name was. I assume that's your last name is on your badge?
Some are, yeah.
Yeah, so, I don't know, he kinda just did a, I'd rather not, you know, have you know all my information type thing, like.
So then he leaves and pulls away, and there's,
And then he asked me to send him some pictures, and I told him I couldn't. And then pretty much he tried to continue the conversation a couple times without response from me, because at that point I was just like, what the hell just happened, you know? Like,
Right.
this is crazy. And I told him where, no, I lied to him about where I stayed because it freaked me out. Yeah,
Where'd you tell him you
I
stayed?
told him I was staying at the Hampton Inn,
okay.
which is close to where I am, but I didn't want to give him information that if, I don't know, I just something about the whole thing didn't sit right with me, so that's why I'm here today, you know what I mean? But, yeah, so then he texted me a couple times and I didn't respond, and then he just said, I'm not sure if I should leave you alone or what. A couple days later, maybe that next day, he said, hey, what are you up to tonight? And again, I didn't respond. Just not sure what his intentions were.
Did he ever, okay, so yeah, okay. And you haven't heard from him since?
No.
Correct.
Which I need to check the history on my phone, because he may very well have tried calling, but I never had him saved, and I didn't save him under anything until recently when this happened. So, he could have tried calling, I probably could have rejected it, but...
At one point this morning, I was talking to Detective Sergeant Hocking about a bullet that came across Yahoo News about a subject police impersonator driving around in a black unmarked look-alike squad car, personal squad. Subject had a name that was first name mentioned by you, and we showed you a picture
Yes.
of the car and just showed you the bulletin that we got,
Yeah.
that Detective Hocking brought over.
And
And you looked at it immediately and
picture
said,
gave me
holy
chills, yes.
shit, that's him.
Yes.
That's him?
Yes, it's absolutely him. There's not a doubt in my mind that that's the man I met that night.
And that car is definitely
That,
what you saw.
1,000,000,000%, that car is exactly the car that met me that night, yes, absolutely.
And then you reported this to Peru Police when? Do you remember?
It was, what day did you guys come?
Last week,
Was it Friday or Thursday?
Friday, I believe.
Friday?
As in Friday, as in 3 days ago?
So it was like Saturday probably, because I called you back the next
I
day.
talked to you Saturday.
Right. we talked to her earlier last week, and then we
Okay.
met again, I think it was Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Friday's when she said that, she had this information that was bugging her, and she wanted to tell us, and
Mhm.
wasn't sure how to proceed.
But he's okay. He
And
never.
I just saw it on Yahoo this morning on the computer, I thought it was pretty coincidental,
I'm
so I
glad you
printed
did.
it out, and then Detective Atkins had located a, critical reach message with the photos that you were shown this morning, and that's what you looked at and identified them.
I'm glad I didn't see that before I said those names. Like, I'm
Right.
really glad that,
Mhm.
yeah, because, yeah.
You looked the number up from this cat too, you said?
Yeah, but there was no, I
How'd you
didn't
look
get
it
any
up?
name feedback. I haven't, it's called Truecaller, and then I also use one called Mr. Number, and then the other one's called White Pages ID.
Yeah.
So I run them through all three, and then there's one called Who,
Mhm.
you know, and, True Contact.
Okay.
I run all the callers through them, and then I also do a Google search on the number, and generally public records will come up if they're, you know, any public profiles, if they're a criminal and they have public records, I can see what they've been charged with
Good.
before I agree to meet with them. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, you know, out
Right.
to be hurt anybody or do anything illegal. I'm
Did you
just
see
trying to.
anything, license plates on the car?
I didn't.
No.
No, you know
And
what,
did
I
you
wish
see anybody
I
in the
would've.
car with him?
No.
Is that the weirdest encounter you've ever had since you've been?
Absolutely.
He just wanted to give you $100 to
Absolutely,
have
yes. Yep, and he gave me $100 bill.
and that was just for that time, or was that to call him in the future too?
No, that
or-
was just, he said, I will pay you $100 to give me 3 minutes of your time to come meet me. 3 minutes. That's all I want. And I remember when I was on the phone, he asked me that, I said, as long as I'm not you're gonna like pull up and you're gonna try to arrest me for something, you know, like,
Yeah.
sure, I'm not agreeing to anything right now except to come meet you understand that? He's like, right, we'll talk in person. I'm like, no, like, I'm not lying to you over the phone, it's gonna be the same in person, these
Right.
details don't change, you
Right.
know?
Did he say, like, no, I'm not gonna arrest you, or he did say that?
Yeah, he's like,
arrest?
no, I'm not looking for any trouble like that at all. He's like, I'm just looking to meet you and know that you're the person that I see on the internet, and, yeah.
And when he went to walk away, you did say that, what did you say, he came back to your car to tell you what?
Did I
You said about the license plate tag?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, that my license plate sticker was expired on the truck that I was in. And that, he said, he called it in that no other officer would stop us that night for the expired sticker, because he called it in and said that he had already warned us, stopped
Mhm.
us and given us a warning.
And you told him, you fictitiously told him you were staying where?
At the Hampton Inn.
And where are you
in
staying?
Peru, and I'm really at the La Quinta.
Okay.
Yeah. I kinda panicked, because I just wasn't really at that point, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
Like, if he is a cop, what are his intentions? I wouldn't wanna tell him where I'm at, 'cause this is really weird, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
And
it
you
was
pulled
very
out and then he
crazy.
left too? Did you guys see him leave, or?
He left before me.
Oh, did you say,
because-
did you? Did you see?
Yeah.
Did you happen to recall which way he went?
When he pulled out, he went, like, okay, facing back like this. This is where I was parked.
Mm-hmm.
He came in, when he pulled in this way. When he left, he went that way.
Like towards Peru?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so. Very
He was
strange.
by himself, he didn't see anybody
Yeah,
else
he
in
was by
the
himself.
car, or?
No, he was by himself, and he wanted to ensure I was by myself too, that's why I let him leave first, because then I had to tell my friend, okay, come out of the bathroom.
And you don't know if she saw him or not, right? She hasn't said anything?
She hasn't said anything, but actually, she's coming to visit me today, so I can ask her and talk to her about it, so.
And he never went inside of Bex though, right?
No, he didn't. No, just she did.
Any odors on him? Can you tell if he was drinking at all, or?
No, and you know, like, he stayed over, it was really weird, what was really weird to me, he stayed on the passenger side of the truck.
Never got in?
No, he wouldn't get in, and that was really weird to me, because I was thinking to myself, okay, cop cars have cameras, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't your dash cam gonna catch what you're doing right now? Like, that you're doing, like, even though it's facing forward, like, just what he was, I don't know, it freaked me out. I was like, you know, like, that's not right. I just don't see how a cop would be
Right.
okay with doing that and thinking that he'd get away with it and not even being caught at all on his camera from his vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
or from his vehicle. But he made sure he stayed on that side of the door, like, rolled down the window, and I was like, go ahead and open the door, you know, he's like, no, it's fine. Like, he wanted to stay over there, kind of a distance, you know. I don't know, like, it was very, very sketchy. Like, and what I thought was gonna happen was, when he pulled up, I thought for sure he was gonna be like, you walk around that side of the building, I'll walk around that side, we'll meet on the other side and talk. Like, that would've made more sense if he was actually a cop.
Sure.
That would've made a little more sense to me, to not talk about anything near his vehicle.
Sure.
I don't know, I could be off base with that, but
What color clothing was he wearing?
black, all black,
All black?
all black.
Did he have any patches on his sleeves or anything that you
You
saw?
know, I
that-
don't remember on his sleeves or anything, but I do know that he had his, like, a walkie thing. He was wearing a black coat over it, and I could tell he was, like, it was all stocky, because it looked like he was suited up, like, with his Teflon and everything, you know? And like I said, there was a badge that looked like sewn onto his hat, like yours is. on
You
his
said you
hat.
did see a spotlight?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Which door was it on, driver's
It was
or
on the
passenger?
driver's side.
Driver's side.
Mhm.
And you saw a badge? Where was
I
the
think,
badge at?
like, he had something that was right here, but he wanted it covered up, so, like, I couldn't get a really good look at what it was, if it was a badge and a name tag or what.
Did he cover it with his hand? or
Yeah, he
what?
covered it with his hand and then pulled his coat over it, 'cause he had a regular black coat on, and pulled it over, like a North Face puffy black jacket, like that. Just like that.
Facial hair, you said, Jillian?
At the time, he had
Where
facial
at,
hair,
like
yeah.
facial hair where?
Like right here, just like unshaven, you know, right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what color did you think it was?
It looked like a sandy blonde red, like it.
Like a
His facial
strawberry
hair,
blonde?
yeah, like strawberry blonde. To me, it would like indicate that his hair was red.
So
if
you're
I had to
100%
guess.
sure that that's the guy, from the picture you
Yeah.
saw?
Oh God, yeah. His eyes are. That's. Yeah, yeah. I can definitely recognize his eyes. Like.
He did ask for pics, you said, right?
Yeah,
Pics, okay.
yeah.
Told you he was a police officer,
Mhm.
okay.
Told me he couldn't leave LaSalle.
Oh,
because
what did he
was
say about his
happy.
family, you said he said?
Said he moved here from, and I wanna say that he told me from like Minnesota or, yeah, I think it was Minnesota, that's what's sticking in my head, that he moved here from there. His parents had passed away and the rest of his family wasn't around here, that his girlfriend just left him and he has no friends around here, to talk to.
Did you ask him where he lived? Does he have a house? Did you?
No, I didn't ask him any of that.
None of that?
He didn't want me to know his last name, so I didn't really wanna, so weird as it sounds, I didn't wanna freak him out with questions, you know.
Were you
I don't know.
dressed up that night for anything? Nothing?
No, I would never leave my hotel rooms to dress up like
Okay,
that for,
that's fine.
no, absolutely not. The only kind of session that I would offer where I'm dressed up is if it's lingerie modeling
Sure.
or bachelor party.
And there was nothing like that
No,
involved here?
no,
Okay.
absolutely
And
not.
he didn't try to touch you or feel you
No,
up or nothing?
absolutely not.
Didn't ask to kiss you?
Nope.
Just asked about maybe getting together sometime in the future, maybe?
Yeah, he just asked, you know, if he paid me a few more times for my time and we got to know each other, if I started to personally maybe have feelings for him, if it would ever be able, if I'd be willing to ever be able to give it a shot with him without money being involved. And
Did he have any, like a slang to him, or did he talk kind of
No.
you know,
no, none at all. Just, I mean, just like
Midwestern
we talk.
conversation? Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Accent, okay.
Right.
No hillbilly,
Nope.
nothing?
None. Not like gangster or not,
Okay, yeah.
you know, southern, nothing.
Did he talk about having a gun? Did he say anything like that?
No.
Nothing crazy
And you know
like
what, I
that?
didn't see a gun on him either. But he, like I said, he stayed on the passenger side,
Right,
you know.
never got in?
No. And he got a little freaked
your-
out when I told him he could get in.
Why, what'd he say?
He was just like, no, it's fine. I'm gonna stay right here. He's like, just roll the window down.
Was he leaning in?
Yeah, he was leaning in a
Did
little
your
bit.
friend come out at all and see him then
No,
finally?
no. She stayed in, 'cause I told her stay until I text you.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay, so
Yeah.
that's, the timing was there.
Yeah.
But you told him you had a friend there, or you told him you were
No, I
alone?
told him I was alone.
Oh, you told him you were alone?
Yeah, I told him I was alone.
Okay,
But I definitely had my friend with me.
alright.
Yeah, I, that way if something happened and I was gone, she
Sure.
would know I'm missing, you know,
Sure,
I mean,
understand.
and that's another thing that I do, like, with my boyfriend and everything. I tell him exactly when I have sessions and everything, I will tell him exactly who it is I'm seeing, the phone number and everything, that way if I go missing, that's the last person I had contact with.
Right. You got anything? Are you willing to cooperate throughout this investigation?
Yeah,
'Cause this is,
absolutely.
there's a high probability this is gonna,
Absolutely.
somebody could get hurt.
Oh, absolutely, I'm really glad it wasn't me, and I really don't want anybody else to falls victim
And
to
you
this.
never mentioned anything about hooking up though, sex-wise or
No,
nothing that
nothing
night,
like,
nothing?
he asked if it could lead to that on a
Okay.
personal relationship level,
Alright,
but pretty much it was just a way of
sure.
running in a circle saying, hey, if I paid you enough times for your time, would you consider being with me just for free, you know?
Right, right.
Which, that's the same exact thing as
Said he
prostitution,
was,
sir, no.
when you told us in the other room, you said he was about 35?
Yeah, I'd say I thought his age about 35, yeah, 30, 35. I'm a really bad judge of age too, but I would say, yeah.
And there's no other conversations with him in your phone, right?
No, no.
And if need be, if he texts you, could you kinda keep him
Absolutely.
keep him warm for us,
Yep,
at least in terms of,
No
you know,
problem
give him
at
the
all.
old jive, hey baby, whatever, and till we can
Absolutely.
figure something out.
Yeah.
Can I get your, phone number real quick?
Yeah.
in case we need it?
Did you wanna look at this so you know you have all my screenshots?
I think I
of where it
got
is?
them all. You don't mind?
No, I don't mind at all, go ahead. Sorry, if somebody calls, you can just hit ignore, 'cause it's just healthcare and policy
This is
people.
neat, this phone.
No, don't get it, it's a pizza.
Let me
We,
shut that
wrap it
camera off.
down.
Yeah, why don't you shut that camera off? Hang on, we got 2:19 PM. Wanna hit that switch, Denny?
Fernando from Faxler and Valley